Welcome, everyone, to episode 2 of BatShtCrazy. I'm Zach, that's Kyle, and today we got some rants for you. We got some stuff lined up.
We're gonna do a lot of
We're gonna do a lot of
effing,
holes.
effing complaining.
Wait, what we're gonna do? What are we doing? I'm confused as to what we're doing now.
As long as you have a good time, it's okay, right?
Everything's a hole.
But you know what? There are some things you probably shouldn't do. Some things you can do and some things you shouldn't do. And then there are some things that are fun to watch. But those sites are no longer accessible in Florida.
I don't know what happened.
Elected representatives.
All right.
It's a hell of a way to start this.
So, you got some rants for me. I was reading them off earlier, and I was like, keep them PC, but I want to hear from the start. You started off about metal coffee cups. That was like the first thing in your day. All right.
Yeah.
What
you
happened?
Know what? Let's start off. No,
what hurt you?
Let me tell you what hurt me. I you know what? Okay. Here's how I feel about this. All right. So metal cups, right? Everybody has seen those awesome like Game of Thrones cups, or they got like those like a beer cask barrel cup, or like a cool cup with a dragon on it. It's got like a tail swinging around the sword or something. And everyone's like, wow, I would love to have my coffee or my hot tea or something in one of these epic styled cups. And you're looking at these epic styled cups, and you add them to cart, and you're ready to check out. And you're like, man, I'm going to be king of the north, right? Getting ready to sip on my coffee like I'm the warden of some fantasy island of some sort. And then you realize that you only have two options when it comes to these cups. Because the interior of these cups is cast in stainless steel, you cannot put it in the microwave. So you either have to drink it and like dragging that stuff down your esophagus, or you let it get cold. Because I don't know about you, but I drink a couple cups of coffee throughout the morning, and or whatever time of day you drink coffee, usually more than one cup.
Yep.
And unless you got like a thermos or something, that coffee content will get cold if you don't, straight up guzzle it. You can't put metal in the microwave. Why are we allowing these people why are we letting them make awesome cups and then casting the interiors? You can't put it in the microwave. It's a waste of money, but it's darn shame, because they look really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only usefulness about them, is they do look cool. Otherwise, I agree. They are.
I don't want a souvenir cup. I want to drink from the cups.
You know, the best things, though, are those ones at travel thermoses that you get that are the whole thing is like that. And you put it in there, and it'll keep your coffee hot all day long, but you can never drink it. You'll try to drink it out of that thing, and you'll be like, oh, my God.
Yeah, I've got a couple, fancy thermos cups, some good travel mugs, but like, I'm home most morning. I'm not traveling. I don't need a 16-ounce or 20-ounce travel mug to sit on my couch and sip, and this is the key word, sip my coffee.
And I'm going to lump in with that. I'm going to lump in any cup that you can't microwave. That's like one of those artistic ones. They look great, but they can't microwave them. So what good is this cup to me? You can't wash it in the dishwasher. You have to wash it by hand.
You can't put it in the dishwasher. You can't put it in the microwave.
No, I don't want your
artistically make me something useful. All right. I feel like that's not a big ask. Just match art and practicality, and you will make money. It's that simple.
So after the cup, you then moved to the gym. What happened at the gym?
Okay. Well, I was having a good day.
Keep it PC. But what happened at the gym?
All right. So I have a good time at the gym, and I warm up do my cardio either a couple miles on treadmill or a couple miles on the bike, or a hybrid of the two. And after I'm done with that, we go into some weight focused training. And I like the machines more than free weights because I mean they're dummy proof A of all, and the free weights are always taken up by these people that look like they're about to eat them when they're done with them. They're like, I lift the heavy things and now it's snack time. Oh, dumbbell. Oh God, that was a visual. Here you go. So anyway, I the gym I go to has an extravagant amount of one machine, but then another machine they'll have one or two of.
Yep.
And every time I want to use said machine, I have to like either sprint to get to it while it's empty or have to wait my turn, as everybody does. The
Mm-hmm.
thing that bothers me, these are the people that bother me. If now, and I'm not saying I don't want anything, no hate for this. It's never too late to change your stripes or to make an improvement in your life or whatever. But if you are a 300-pound overweight, one-legged 80-year-old sitting at the machine with a book, it's time to move on. You passed your prime. Very little change is going to be made. You've decided on your life choices. You need to get out of the way so the rest of us can use said machine. Take your little book and go to your little house and sit there on your little couch that is probably breaking because it cannot support your giant butt. So
So to
that's
play
that's
devil's
where we're at.
advocate here, this old
Yes,
person that
please
struggles to move with life
explain.
is trying so hard to go to the gym to better themselves. You were
At
saying
70,
it's too late for
80.
them. It's
I'm
too
saying
late.
it's too
Just
late
stay
for
at
them.
home.
I'm saying if you have a struggle walking, you don't need to be on my weight machine.
Why is my room so red?
It can feel the rage. It's also angered by the fact that people. Well, see now it's calming down, but it was feeling
What
the
the hell was
rage.
that?
It was
I
I'm
was going
telling
all
you,
Harrison
man.
Ford on this thing.
It went, I was just gonna say, Red Hulk on your butt.
I don't,
See that? I'm keeping it PG.
so confused. But okay. All right. So from the gym, what was the other one? You had one more, I thought.
There was one more. I don't remember what. Oh, this one was also at the gym, and this one's a little sensitive. But all right. Let's have a realistic conversation with all of our architects out there.
Oh, I remember now.
Yeah. Okay. So
Please keep this one
nothing.
PC.
Oh, I will. I will absolutely do my best. Nothing is worse than walking into, because commonly bathrooms also share a location with the locker room, which
Mm-hmm.
also shares a location with the showers. I have
Yep.
no issue with public showers.
Okay.
My issue is the idiots that designed the public showers, because why do we not have modesty changing stations? These stations should be installed not only for your benefit, a little bit of a privacy screen, but
Yep.
my benefit as well, because if I have an emergency number two situation that needs immediate attention in the middle of a set, the last thing I want to see, because nothing kills your vibe more than having to stop mid workout. But if you have to stop mid workout to go use the bathroom, and you walk in there and you're greeted with just a whole lot of ass, just bent over, dangling, just it's it it can be a struggle to find the motivation after that.
I
In
can see
some
that.
places,
Yep.
that's exactly what people are looking for, and I appreciate that. But like, I've already interrupted, I've broke momentum, and now I'm scarred for life. And I know what people are going to say. Don't look. Well, let me tell you what.
You
You can
can't not
avoid
look.
the moon.
Yeah, you
You
can't.
can avoid the moon, but you can't really
Yeah.
avoid the moon. You're going to look at the night sky and be like, "Oh, look, that's a full moon." It's the
Sometimes you
same
can
thing
see
with the
less of the
gym.
moon, but there's always a moon.
There's always a
You always
moon.
find it.
It's all, and even if you can't see the moon, right? There's some clouds in there. You still see the light from the moon. It's still shining through. You got peripheral vision. Yeah, it peeks through. And it's just so yes, the adventures at the gym today were plentiful, bountiful, and frustrating.
I'm sorry you had just such a trying day.
I'm sorry too. Life is difficult. You got all this time and opportunity to do whatever you want. You choose to go to the gym, and you're just butt blocked.
Life is difficult, but nobody explains it better than you do. Quite as
I try,
entertaining.
Zach. I try my best. That's what it's all about. We want to keep the anonymous people that I will never see or hear entertained.
You never know. One day you might run into
You
one at the gym, full ass out. Hey, I know you.
probably did. I probably did. But the second comment on our second video is gonna be like, "I'm so sorry, bro." Like, don't call me bro. You're 30 years older than me. All right. In this
I'm 80
instance,
years
bud
old. I
or
was just trying to
son is
better
fine.
myself.
Just trying
Just
to
let
better
me.
yourself. How about you better the rest of us and stay
How about
home?
you let me use the machine, man?
Let you use the machine. Why don't you let the rest of us use the machine? I mean, you could use the library. That seems to be what you're doing on the machine anyway.
Okay, I will say that back in my gym days, yeah, that did bother me when the person was like one revolution on the something and then just like reading 2 pages, another revolution. And it's clear that you're just there because the doctor said you need to exercise more and you're pretending like you're doing something. But yeah, you're just like turn a page.
Well, yeah, and don't get me wrong, I have great admiration for the people that do. I do pretend cardio. I'm on the machine and I get my heart rate up and a little bit of sweat. I think it's because of my ongoing allergy to cardiovascular. I told you about that, right?
It's a serious issue.
It's a serious issue. Whenever I do cardio, like I start sweating, it's hard to breathe, I get red in the face. I mean, it's an allergic reaction. Anyway,
It's called
I
CAP, cardio allergy phenomenon.
phenomenon. Yes, it's an absolute mystery. Anyway, so I admire the people that are like doing real cardio and like I get there at the gym and they're on their 8th mile going like 100 miles an hour and they're still like flipping pages. They're speed running and speed reading at the same time. I'm like, how do they do that? That is amazing. But no, the one guy that's just there, he's like, well, I thought I'd change it up this morning, grabs his sip of coffee, flips one page every 6 minutes. That guy needs to leave or at least come back later when he's done with his book in 100 years. All right. What do we got next?
Well, I was going to talk a little about. So I'm not going to do too much of an in-depth breakdown of the games, but this kind of led us back to that conversation we had off air about game reviews because I had an interesting situation with Civilization 7, which launched this week or last week. I've been waiting to play it forever, hyped for it.
Mm-hmm.
Came out, very mixed reviews, a lot of negativity, all the same stuff. I was like, oh man, that sucks. I wasn't going to play it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to play it anyway. And I did it. 2 hours in, really enjoy the game. And I was like, well, maybe it gets worse. 2 more hours in, maybe like 3 now. I'm close to 5 hours and I'm still loving the game. And I'm just like, where does this get bad? And I'm looking at some of the reviews and they're just like, UI is terrible. Gameplay is a mess. And it's like, do these people just, the UI is not much different from the last game. Gameplay, it's almost like they just skipped their tutorials and are just confused as to how to play the game when it tells you how to play the game. I'm baffled by some of it. And I'm not saying that people can't have an opinion and a review, but I think what's happening, because this also happened with Avowed. Same thing. A lot of the big reviewers on YouTube didn't like the game that much. And I think it's almost like an echo chamber effect. Is what I'm seeing is almost the same reviews posted by a bunch of people all over the place. And I don't know if it's their opinion or if it's just this people spiraling on what these big YouTubers think about things and not having their own opinion, because I'm not going to say they're all wrong, but interesting study happened on everybody go watch Luality. She's a very good Baldur's Gate 3 player. She did a video once on
Shameless plug.
Yeah, I go watch her. She's way better than we are at everything. But anyway, she did a video on I thought was interesting about reviews, and she's played it was for Dragon Age Veilguard. She played Skill Up's review first on her stream. She let it play the whole thing. You watch Skill Up's review. He hated the game, which is fine. That was his opinion. He did not like it. After you watch Skill Up's review, you hated the game too. It made you angry about it. And then she immediately played another YouTuber's review that was glowingly positive about the game. And you watched his review, and you felt great about the game afterwards. And it's like, it's so weird how other people's opinions can shape the masses. And I think that's what's happening to, like, I see so many, especially younger people, not to call them out, but we'll just name him Tyler. Shameless plug. If you're watching this, buddy, we still love you, but he was talking
I
about
didn't say a bad
Dragon
thing.
Age.
I
And
laugh because it's funny, but I didn't say a bad thing. I love my sexy pancake.
we
Okay.
do. We love the
For
pancake.
those that don't have any context, that is a gamer tag.
Yeah, it is
Also
a
a
gamer tag.
breakfast.
He's a great breakfast food. He's scrumptious. But anyway, he had the opinion that Dragon Age of Veilguard was a woke piece of hot garbage, which at the time everybody else was saying that too. And I had not played it. So I played the game despite all that. And I realized it is not a great Dragon Age game. I'm not going to fool it. It's not. It's not a Dragon Age game. It is a very B to B minus good action game. That's what it is. But the people that were saying it was some kind of woke just propaganda machine are taking the smallest snippet of dialogue and one character in particular, that Tosh, that is not written well, and I don't know why that was in the game or who made that mess of a storyline with her. But they took something so small and then made it into this whole just campaign against the game that was what it was. And I don't understand if people are just not playing the games themselves. But I'm seeing this more and more with Civilization, with Avowed. It's like I played Avowed yesterday and I played it for 30 minutes today, about 3 hours or whatever. And I love it. It's great so far. And people are just saying it was not what they wanted. Just the same thing. I don't know if these people are having real opinions in these Steam reviews, or I know the YouTubers themselves that are making the reviews, that's their opinion and that's valid. But I feel like so many people latch onto this stuff and are just creating a tornado of negativity on games that don't necessarily deserve. I'm all for crucifying games that do bad things, but I don't know.
Right. Yeah. No. And to your point with so I feel I haven't finished Dragon Age yet. I was on track to finish it today, but I so many side quests that I'm wrapping up. I want to be 99% before I get to the end sort of deal. And so I'm doing everything humanly possible to get the full scope by the end of the story. And what I will say about Tosh, the character specifically, the character herself is not bad. As a matter of fact, when we're first introduced to her, she's a badass dragon slayer that's, obviously very girl power, but like rightfully so, because she's very Wonder Woman-esque in her approach to how she's, she is a badass. But then later there is well, I guess spoilers for anybody. But there is the plot line that everyone's upset with is she's a non-binary character, and like for the sake of inclusion in today's world, I think it's important to see more of that. But it does not need to be a plot point. The fact that it is a plot point, in my opinion, undermines the plot point. Like these sort of inclusion things, they're shining such a spotlight on it that they're taken away from the idea that it should not matter if you identify as non-binary or binary in any sort of way. And so it drives me nuts that that is the focal point of that companion story, because it ties in basically from the end of her starting quest, the intro quest, from that point up into her character's climactic finish. That is the driving point, because there's issues that she never resolves with her mother, and that goes, again, spoiler territory. You extrapolate what you want from that information about the fate of whatever character, but yeah, it did not need to be there, because initially her introduction was a strong introduction, as strong as any of the other ones, Emmerich or Lucanus, or actually it was better than Harding and Nave, or whatever her name is.
And
But it just people especially today's day and age, they latch on to the things that makes them uncomfortable and the things that they didn't like specifically, and everyone's just so damn loud about their opinion. And yeah, it does. That opinion will influence others. And like I but it's hit and miss on certain games. Like if I had listened to all the opinions on Dragon's Dogma 2, I probably never would have picked that game up. But I really enjoyed it. I don't know if I'll go back to a second playthrough, but I really enjoyed the first playthrough. That was more or less my introduction to that world. And the reviews on Helldivers after Sony did their thing. I mean, everybody got on Steam and tanked the reviews, and like,
And then I
that
get
game
a little
still,
bit. I mean, because it was kind of like
yeah,
it was
that
kind
was
of like
more directed.
a public crucifixion of we know the game's great, but screw you,
Yeah.
Sony, kind of thing. But
Exactly. So I guess that's kind of an exception to this. But like on the flip side of the coin, the reviews for Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora were pretty positive, and that game was trash. So
yeah,
it's to the larger point you're making is like game reviews are good to a point, but like you really need to make up your own mind, and you should
yeah,
not jump
and
on the
that's the problem
bandwagon
though.
before you've had a chance to play.
I get the sentiment that like, so if somebody only has $70 and I have to pick one game here, what am I going to play? I need to look up information, and I understand that wanting to go look at reviews to see if it's something you would like, but problem is it could be something you like, but there's such a negative cloud storm around it that you will all join in on that, even though you have no like basis for that opinion yourself. And that's the thing. I think these like because it could be 10 people on YouTube that have their opinions, and then millions of people are latching on to those 10 people and riding the coattails of this storm. And going back to Tosh, I I mean, there's gonna be people that just hate trans by all that stuff. There's been people that just hate those kind of people, and that's a whole different issue. But
Yeah,
with
that's a
with
that's a political
Tosh,
conversation.
I think Tosh actually could have been really cool with a non-binary because that's not something that many people understand. Even that, I'm not even gonna say I understand it that well because I'm not non-binary, but I actually would be intrigued in a story about a non-binary character. The problem is with Tosh, they didn't start it from the beginning. They like tried to shoehorn it 75% through her playthrough, where maybe you could have like made a case she was bi or something, as all of them kind of are. They leave it in there to make either
Oh
choice
yeah,
if you're
no,
male or female.
you
So
can
that
romance.
and that's kind of
Yeah,
how
you can
Tasha was
romance
the
all of
whole
them.
time. It was like the whole time she was just like, okay, you can go either way kind of thing. But then all of a sudden you're 75% through the game and her quest is about over. And then she shoehorns, I'm non-binary now. And it's like, what? It's like
Well,
we could have started this whole thing from the beginning, worked up to
and it's
telling how you're non-binary and what that means to you, make the player
yeah,
understand
you
what
could have
non-binary is, but you didn't do
absolutely.
that. They didn't even explain what it
No,
is. They're
yeah.
just like, I don't feel like either or now, and that's it. There was like such a loose definition of the whole
Yeah,
thing, and yeah,
they did it.
poorly.
I don't want to be online saying there's a right way or wrong way to do this sort of thing, because I sincerely don't believe there is a right way or a wrong way to do it. But the way they included it in her story was it felt like they were throwing it in there for the sake of throwing it in there. It didn't feel natural in any
Yeah,
way
that was the
whatsoever.
biggest thing.
It felt like they were very specifically attempting to appease a certain crowd. And there was no, and it gets especially confusing later. I shouldn't say confusing, but well, I imagine for some it was especially confusing because she later develops a relationship with Harding, and who's uh, uh and it
She didn't do that in
without
my
fleshing.
playthrough.
No,
Mm-mm.
interesting.
Mine, it was
You should have done more companion quests. I don't
I
know what
did
to
all of
tell you.
them. I did all of the kind of panic. I did everything. I 100%ed it. I just think I had
Oh man,
different.
I yeah.
Well, I think because I romanced Harding. That's probably
Oh,
why.
that might be why. Yeah,
So I
no,
don't know
I went
what
with Balara.
happened after that.
Yeah, yeah, I went with Balara. It was between her and Lucanus, but yeah, I went with Balara. No, I'm really enjoying Dragon Age despite its terrible reviews. I would put it solidly. in the B category just because some of the enemy encounters are very repetitive once you get through once you get up to kind of the final chapter of the game. You're like, oh, I got to do this again. I also don't like how the same enemies respawn in the same area after you've defeated the enemy in that faction. It felt so there were just some like there was some nitpicks that brought it down that letter grade for me, as opposed to like an initial playthrough letter grade. Like, you give Spider-Man 2
Given you're not a
was
Dragon Age person, so that kind of is a different perspective too, because I think you have
I
more
still
of
think
a
it's.
fresh
I mean, I straight up
thing on it.
quit Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yeah, I don't blame
That
you for
game
that.
bothered me. Yeah, so like that was my
Origins and previous ones, those are great dark games, and those are just a whole different experience. But yeah, Inquisition was a bloated mess.
So in light of the bad reviews for Dragon Age, what is your official review? Positive or negative? Should people spend their money on Dragon Age Valguard? Will they have a good time?
Yes. I would get it if you can get it at $40 or cheaper, absolutely. Any kind of sale, pick it up. If you're like somehow a Dragon Age Origins nut and you're not accepting anything but that, do not play that game. But I'm sure you've already made that opinion. If you're in Dragon Age diehard, I'm sure you've already played it. If you're someone that's on the fence, pick it up. I can say the same.
For me, it's a positive review most of the way. Like I said, solid B letter grade.
Really
If
cool ending.
you,
You're gonna love it.
I can't wait. Yeah, no, I'm building toward it. I'm gonna be really let down if it's lackluster, because this is one of the games that I'm really pushing towards it. But if you're new to Dragon Age, if your only experience of Dragon Age is Inquisition, and you like games like, I'm not saying it's like these games, but if you like RPG games, this will
Are you
be a
gonna say
good one
Skyrim?
for you. I wasn't gonna say Skyrim. I knew you were gonna tease me, so no, I wasn't gonna say
Actually, I thought you were
Skyrim.
gonna say Arkham because it kind of has an Arkham vibe to
No,
it.
no.
But
This game is nothing like Arkham.
well,
There's
the
no shred of
loosest
Arkham in
comparison would
it.
be the combat's vaguely similar if you squint in the style, not the
Even the
countering, not the fighting
I
in
was
any
gonna
way,
say,
but
even the counter system.
kind of the
When
way
I think
that
of
the
Arkham,
angle looks, I guess, the character angle, that kind of like
yeah, okay, yeah,
that
I'll give you that
direction, I
one.
guess, is what I meant.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that one. That's similar to. Uh, when I think of Arkham Combat, I think of the counter system and the free flow. That's what I think of when I think of Arkham Combat.
Kingdom Come Deliverance
Yeah,
2, though, everybody go play that.
everybody go play. You're not the only one telling me go play it. I will, when it gets a little
You
cheaper, I will pick it
you
up.
need to
Yeah.
be in the good mindset, though. It's one of those ones where it's extremely slow burn at first. Like you're walking around, you're just like, what am I doing here? It takes a long time to get going, but once it does, the game is amazing. And it's
I mean,
very in depth.
I watched your stream. Everybody else should too. Check it out. Friendly Fire on.
Yeah. Those
Yeah.
are coming on the weekends, the Kingdom Come. And I know they're hard ones to watch, and I didn't expect them to do too great because of obviously people want to play it themselves. They don't want to ruin the whole thing for themselves. But yeah, go play that. Go play Civ 7. Avowed.
I guess
It's on Game Pass. Go play it. It's great.
I guess one of the last things I'll say on review bombs. Obviously, you should always judge something for yourself. But if you're someone like me that hesitates to buy new games because the price continues to go up for incomplete games, um, watch more than one source. Don't take one trusted YouTuber and run with it, because, you may agree with that YouTuber, 9 out of 10 things, but that 10th thing is just, you don't agree. And so if you watch more than one source, watch more than one YouTuber, search the game by name and watch a couple different ones, watch some gameplay, compare the gameplay to the trailers, and then ask a friend that's played it, just fact check,
Or
source
just listen to
source your
me.
material.
I'm the only
Yeah, or
source.
just
I'm the only
that's
true
it. Friendly
source.
fire on. That's all there is. Just
Do
the
what I
voice of
say.
Zach. Listen, Zach is spelled God, and you should listen.
All right.
All right. Speaking
On
of
that
games,
note,
what Sony State of Play? Let's talk about it.
yeah, so I rewatched it at lunchtime just to get a refresher. And I had some thoughts. I'm not gonna lie. Most of it was kind of more Japanese anime kind of thing that I'm not super into. But what about Monster Hunter Wilds? I'm not a big Monster Hunter person. I tried the last one, and it just kind of. I was playing by myself though, and maybe that's part of it. I don't know if you've ever played Monster Hunter because it seems like something you might like, but I don't know.
I played the original. I attempted to play the original Monster Hunter close to its release, and that was at a time that I wasn't used to playing anything quite like it. And so it turned me off pretty quick. Now, what I've seen since, it looks like fun, but nothing has driven me back to it. I saw their weird Monster Hunter movie, and that was, a good C minus popcorn flick. That didn't bring me into it at all. I like the aesthetic kind of. I'm not a huge, person length sword type of guy. The Dark Souls games are guilty of that, and that turns me off aesthetically too. But like this trailer, Hunter Wilds, I didn't see. It didn't look like it was providing anything new. Is it a new biome? Are there new monsters? It looked the
So
same
it's a
to
completely
me.
new game.
Okay.
The trailer didn't do it a lot of justice. It looks a lot prettier than it did on that formatting for the YouTube video, but it's a completely new game, I think, from the ground up. Monster Hunter Wilds, or World, sorry, the last one that came out. I did play that for a while, but I think it's something that obviously you can play it solo, but I think it's more fun with friends or a friend. But I I don't know. I kind of struggled with it. It's a very grindy game, but if you know, like, you have a wiki or something, you can know how to grind, like kind of like an Elder Scrolls, where it tells you what to do to grind the armor set. You can get it done a lot quicker. It's one of those kind of games, and I don't know. I haven't spent a ton of time. I beat World, or I'm confusing him. Yeah, World. I beat World, and I kind of ended there. I didn't do the end game stuff, so I wasn't sure about Wilds. I wasn't sure if you had ever played them because you like to fight big monsters, so I wasn't sure what your take would be on it.
I do love a big monster fight.
So maybe we'll get back to that when it comes out. Splitgate. Hello, everyone. It is I once again. I just wanted to let everyone know I made another oopsie. I did not realize the amount of backlogged videos I had yet to edit was so massive. And about halfway through this episode, we ran out of space and I did not realize it. We kept talking for another 30 minutes. It's great content, by the way, that will never be heard, only by us. Next week will be longer, I promise, and we're gonna make it up to you with a banger of an episode. So look forward to that. Also, I think to prevent this in the future, if something goes weird, I will live stream it on Wednesdays, usually around 8:30. So if you'd like to watch it live, we will have that available. Otherwise, video will come out Friday at 3. And yeah. Sorry for the shorter episode this week, but we will make it up to you next week with a pretty exciting. We have some ideas. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.